guys, so this is a little something different. We're gonna try to do some tie flying videos on here, see if it goes good. I like doing them. I've recorded a couple videos that I haven't posted yet, but there's a couple tutorials on my Instagram, just real quick tutorials, but I think I'm gonna go into a little bit more depth with these fly tying videos on my YouTube channel. So yeah, let's get into it. With that being said, we're gonna get into episode 1 of On the Vise. This week's pattern, little master splinter mouse fly. So let's get at it. For the hook that I'm using today, it's a bigger hook. I don't usually tie big flies like this, but I decided to switch it up, try something a little different. It is a CM04. These hooks came in a little fly tying kit that I got a while ago for my graduation party. So I don't know exactly what brand they are, but they are a really solid, heavy hook. Good hook for like a streamer or any type of big terrestrial. It's got a big old wide gap on it, a nice straight shank. So let's get into it. We're tying 140 UTC, a little bit of a thicker thread than I usually do. So we're just gonna get that secured in. It's a little bit better right there, just so you guys can see. Okay, so we got that thread in place, and we're gonna be using this rabbit zonker strip. I'm gonna take 1.5 to 2 inches. Just cut that. So we have this little piece of zonker strip, and we're just gonna take away all the fur, except for, we're gonna leave a little like a tuft, like a little tuft at the end of the tail, probably like that. So it's gonna hang off the fly and just have that little fuzzy right there. So you can rip this hair off, or you can cut it. I like to cut it just because sometimes when you rip it, it'll rip the hide and then you just waste material. So I just like to play it safe and cut it all off. It doesn't have to be perfect. See, mine's not perfect. It's still a little fuzzy, but it's okay. So we're gonna progress our thread all the way just to about the bend of the hook, about right there. We're gonna measure it. So we're just gonna secure that strip in, bring it back just a little onto the bend of the hook. And then what I like to do, I like to wrap this back up, back down, and then I like to lift this up and then put my thread, take 1 or 2 wraps under that body, just so it kind of like props it up so it doesn't just sag down, because it is a little bit on the bend of the, so get that secured down. And here's the part that is a little bit time consuming. We're gonna take some foam. I'm using black. You could pretty much use any color you want. I like to use whites, browns, blacks, grays, probably pretty much any color, honestly. You could really make your own little version of this fly. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my black foam and I'm gonna cut a strip out, probably about 1/2 inch thick. And I'm gonna cut this strip probably about 6 inches long. So I got this strip here, it's closer to about 4 inches. And I'm gonna cut this in half, depending on how thick your foam is. This one's really thin. It's just craft foam that I got from Walmart. So this is a really thin foam. If you have a thicker foam, you could probably skip this step. But I'm gonna cut this in half. And I'm gonna super glue both of these pieces of foam on top of each other like that, just to make a thicker piece of body. Super glue. This stuff is awesome, by the way. Okay. So now that we got that glued on there, we could start to shape it. And so to shape it, this is a pretty thick piece of foam. It's gonna be a little difficult to tie down. Okay, so I have just like a little point going on, and you're gonna measure that to where the point lines up just before your tail. So when you secure that down, start with loose wraps, and then as you progress back, tighten those wraps up. We have this little section right here where it's like super flat up top. You want to keep that kind of flat so you can tie in your foam at the end. You don't want to bulk it up too much. I'm gonna take some more Zonker strip, the same color you used for the tail, and you're gonna cut off 1/8 of an inch. You're not gonna cut it off, but you're gonna cut the fur of that 1/8 inch off. So you have a little tie-in point, of a little tag in of just the hide. It's gonna make it a lot easier to tie in and to start rotating that. You're actually gonna tie this piece of strip upside down as well, and you're gonna tie it right at the back end, right by that foam. Okay, so now that we got that secured in, I'm gonna secure it in just a tad bit more, just to be sure. This is a pretty big fly, and with big flies, you already know that it's gonna get chewed up pretty quick. Okay. So I'm gonna give this a little whip finish just to hold it in place. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring my bobbin cradle, and you're just gonna rotate this and make a nice body. Okay. It's always tough for me to get these Zonker strips secured without getting any. Sometimes you could take your finger and brush it back, wet it, just to make it a little easier, so it's not all poofy, so you can just tie it in properly. Take a couple wraps behind it. Your scissors. Snip. And then you can just close that in. And I'm gonna progress the thread back a smidge just to have everything nice and brushed back. A couple half hitches. And from this point, I have this little stone faux, little double-sided brush. I really like this tool for picking out some hairs. Just get it from, if it matted up, you know, or just brush it out, get those even. You can even take the little Velcro part and puff it up a little bit. So this is the top of my fly. What I'm gonna come here and do is wet my fingers a little bit, and I'm gonna part this hair. Okay, so once you got that parted, fold over that mouse body, but you're gonna want to leave a little bulb right there. See how it's see-through right there? You're gonna want to leave a little bulb. And I'm just gonna brush these fibers out of the way. like to do is I like to take a piece of orange foam and just cut a little tag off, just so you can put it on the top of your fly so you have some visibility. So what I did, I just shaped the head a little bit, just cut the corners off to give it more of a non-boxy looking shape. Take a little bit of that super glue, the dab right on that where you're tying in, and take this and just squeeze it on there and then tie it in. You might have to mash this down to get it to stick to the foam. Add a little bit more super glue. So once you got that little high vis hotspot tied in, this is gonna be the hardest part, is you're gonna wanna fold this whole head back and give it some whip finishes. 4 whip finishes, finish it off, and then I'll do another 4 on top of that. Ooh, almost spilled some glue. That would have been bad. Okay. And now once you got that whip finished, this is a super simple fly, by the way, guys, and very effective in certain places of the world. Here in Pueblo, Colorado, I've never fished a mouse fly. I've never heard of anyone fishing mouse flies. I just seen one and I thought it'd be a cool little pattern to tie up and share with you guys. Try not to cover your eye. Your eyelet, sorry. Your hook eye, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Cool. Only reason I like the idea of super gluing this fly is because if a fish hits it, it's most likely going to be a big brown trout, a big toothy brown trout. So you want it to be kind of durable. You don't want to catch one fish on one of these flies and just it be totally trashed, but that could be the case. So be prepared. But yeah, hope you guys like this little episode of On the Vise. I think that's what I'm going to call it, On the Vise. So yeah, stay tuned for more. Yeah, I enjoyed making this little video. Didn't take too long, 26 minutes. I'm gonna edit that down, but yeah. All right, so I think that these fly tying videos can be a lot more manageable. Like, by that I mean I think I can pump out more of these fly tying videos than fishing videos. As much as I would like to pump out a brand new fishing video once a week, it's just not gonna happen. School starts up here in a minute. Going to college, so I'm gonna try to get at least 2 videos out a month. And I think these fly tying videos are gonna be a lot more easier to manage, a lot more easier to edit. Don't have to leave my home to film it. I'm gonna try it out for a little bit. Hopefully I can pump 1 or 2 out a week on top of the 2 fishing videos that I want to come out with at least a month. I want at least 2 fishing videos a month, but I think I can do these at least once a week because and they don't take too much time, not too much energy. Not that I don't like putting the energy into my videos, it's just a lot for me at the time.